which is meant to be the sunrise. Left hand side screen to timestamp. Right hand side is red. Left hand side and middle red. Got a red reflection of that. This is covering up the comets. You don't have the sunrise that's red. It's making the hilltops red. When did we have a red sunrise? Happy birthday. Observations. Okay. So, thought as much. You've got the comet skies. Oh my gosh. Keep doing demonic demons. time. Playing games, aren't you?
And the reason I say that is because here's what happens. Let me give a real quick breakdown, and then following will be a 2-minute, 25-second clip. It's going to give you more information. Here's the deal. February 2021, Air Force Base out of Tucson reported that a drone almost crashed into the base. So if the drone belonged to
This is not your natural sunrise. Comets are being killed. Yeah. Solar eruption, CMEs. Can you look that up? Wow, that's not your natural sunrise. Oh my gosh.
July the 28th, 2021. Guys, you're looking at the sun. This is from the SDO. It's giving us Earth-facing images, and you're looking at, in this yellow area, the filament release from yesterday. We've had a second one today, and about three small ones, but one major one, and they're all Earth-facing, and it's kind of gave us a halo explosion effect when we look at the other satellites. But first in the air, there's the one from yesterday that we saw tracking towards Earth that's supposed to be here tomorrow night around 7 p.m. Eastern. Now, they have not picked up the new one yet, to be honest with you. That during the administration before last, a lot of money got taken down from the different space programs as far as Solar Dynamics Observatory, SOHO, LASCO, all the above. And many of you have also seen a decline in the updated information coming in. But now it is what it is. We've got, at least they haven't turned off all the satellites. That gives us some clue that we can visibly look at and see what's going on. But again, the CME, we've got one scheduled for tomorrow night around 7 p.m. Eastern. That again, that's a plus or minus 7 hours of the window of opportunity. Now, in the top, there's another filament I want you to watch today as I play this forward. You're going to see a secondary filament release. First, there was one on the bottom left from yesterday. Look at the top center, and you're going to see lightning bolt effects coming from just to the right of that watch. You see a couple, and then finally one reaches all the way over right there to the tip of that filament and releases it. Then you see a secondary explosion, guys. When that filament releases, you see the shadow of it. Then you see another explosion that is on the surface of the sun, and it's called a hydro flare. In other words, all of that filament does not get thrown into space. The sun's gravity grabs part of that, picks it up. Now watch under the surface as that thing erupts. That when that collapses back to the surface, the part that is gravitationally captured and pulled back in, that hydro flare explodes, and it creates a secondary explosion that all the satellites pick up. In other words, you have the filament release, bam, it comes through. Then, as again, the secondary explosion, the hydro explosion releases, it feels that too. And you can actually see the satellites are rattled just a hair. Now, for some reason, I'm not sure that this camera used to be active, but at least we have active still shots. And if you notice in the bottom left, there's 3 different colors with today's date on them. That's because they're using 3 out of 12 cameras on a satellite called the Solar Dynamics Observatory. And the 3 different filters combined, guys, gives us an excellent view of different things. In the very top of this, there's a blue opening, and that is called a coronal opening or a coronal hole, and that's where you get increased solar wind speed. But in the dark brown, very dark brown areas, those are filaments, and once they connect either on one end or the other, you get that release. Now, this is very telltale here on SOHO, LASCO C2, that this is an Earth-facing event. As a matter of fact, there were about 4 of them today. And you're going to see all of them in a halo effect. Also here on the 28th, it's also SOHO, but a much wider image of LASCO C3. Normally you would call that a full halo effect because it would be from one explosion, but these were four back to back. And by the way, that's Mercury pulling into the right over there. Seems like it got a welcome salvo. Now Venus is to the left. It's so close to the sun that we cannot see it in this image. By the way, that blue circle is an occulter disk to block the sun or block the glare. But this is a telltale stereo ahead, COR2. And this is behind the Earth in orbit, so it's showing the explosion going exactly towards our planet. Notice today's date at the top. This is July the 28th. Stereo A is here in the orbit behind Earth, which is here. B is in front of it, but in red is A. Now, two of the satellites, the SDO and SOHO, give us Earth-facing perspective, but A is to the left. So when you saw that blast out of stereo A, definitely Earth-facing this way. But that's just, again, I remember back in the peak of solar cycle 24, back several years ago, to where stereo A and B were up. You could get all the images, and it's very easy. But notice Mercury, where it's at, we saw that coming towards the sun. But Venus is not far from getting close to being Earth-facing when we talk about that magnetic connectivity. But here's one of the things that's happened if you guys are feeling bad. This is a 3-day chart, and today we started getting a very sharp increase in solar wind speed from 320 is the average up to 525, 541. And this is not from the CME. This is from an opening in the sun that allowed the solar wind to escape the magnetic canopy. But if you look at that 542, 530, and those averages, guys, you are looking at very high solar wind speeds. 542 kms, or kilometers per second, is 1,212,000 miles an hour. You can't even imagine it. The human mind cannot fathom that speed. I don't care what you do. But when it hits our shields that have been weakened since the end of solar cycle 24, then it affects our planet. That's why I'm always concerned about tectonic plate activity, extreme weather conditions, even though we know all of this weather is not exactly natural. But when you see that, it just reminds you of the magnificent power of our Creator. Imagine wind speeds, solar wind speeds, not just your Earth wind speeds, but solar wind speeds that contain so many protons that are solar energized. They're very powerful. And God created this planet with the shields to protect us from this. But every 11.8 years, the shields get weaker. That matches the sun's binary twin, Jupiter, and he called Nibiru. And that regulates the cycles of our solar cycles. So as Jupiter gets closer, the solar cycles increase. As it gets further away, they decrease. That's God's perfect balance until it's interfered with. Guys, kind of a hard video to do. I got my mind on other things like one of my favorite bands that we talked about before, and I sit here and think about it much longer. I'm gonna have to pick up my guitar and play some kind of blues tribute to that Texas style. But my first job is to let you guys know what's going on. So as you saw this solar wind and speed increase this morning, for you and me and other people that are affected by that, that's what's going on. And it's going to continue for the next several days because of these multiple explosions. But we're watching it, guys. You watch it again. My wife Tina has an excellent new recipe on her channel at Tina's Country Kitchen on YouTube. Check it out. It's a heads up. Be safe.
Wow, look at that circle sunrise. We have the comet rising. Comets. Entertaining. Unnatural. What was it meant to say? It's meant to be a natural sunrise. So see me effects. Gotta find that again. Wow, that is the comet. That's like a crashing down of the skies. That is the comets. Come on. Stop knocking everything. I can see you hacking everything. Wow, look at that. How many sunrises? I can see you hacking everything. Hi, Tanya. I've had no sleep, but I've had sleep. How many sunrises? Hi, Tanya. I've had no sleep, but I've had sleep. How many sunrises? Hi, Tanya. Can you hear that hacking? It's 5:30 in the morning. I woke up on my bed asleep. I fell asleep 11:30 p.m. with everything on my bed and me, of course, and I didn't even get in my night clothes. Oh, they blocked all my bloody drain outside yesterday. I tried to upload the video, I don't know if it's uploaded yet. And then I woke up in agony, all my lower spine. I don't know if I bruised it, but I cannot bloody. My mate has really come out really early because I'm in agony. She's doing some washing, get my breakfast early. So I thought I might as well just watch the sunrise. So I'm just taking some painkillers and resting up in bed. How are you doing? Look at that sunrise. As in the afternoon. Email me. Let's have a look. That is red and orange. It's our natural sunset, I'm sure. Let's have a look. Oh, my muscles. Really, it was really strange. I'm in agony still. Mo keeps emailing me the different email. Should be emailing the other one. Oh. Let's check. I wish he'd just email me the one I told him to email me on. Can't see your email. Right, I'll just check that in a different email. Let me check the one. See where yours are. Was that the 27th? Thanks, Tanya. Sorry to hear you're going through hell. I'll not get any pictures. They're not showing up. Yeah, I haven't heard from my son at all. It's just completely and the ex definitely like a perp, and God knows what they're doing to my granddaughter, Tanya. Yeah, so 2 days ago that email got. Thanks for replying. Really can't get through to him. He's the one that's blocked me. I do believe he's under NKU, yeah. Demonic. Very demonic. You see, he's got no other family members. He's turning to other stuff, and I think that's the only way, and it's not. He doesn't realise. Yep, he's only got one mum. I do believe he is being controlled, Tanya. Absolutely spot on your email. Thank you for taking the time to respond to me. Yes, mind control, definitely. Pure evil. A lot of stuff going on. Look at that skies as well. Oh, right, that one, recent one. You haven't sent it yet. Okay. Just see if this is playing. Wow, that was blinky noisy, wasn't it? Look at that sky. Right, my mate's doing me some toast. I'll be back. Ah. Got a neighbour banging about. Oh, man. Don't spoil that perpetrator plan, ever. 5:30 in the morning, they're banging above. Oh, it's alright, no worries. I do think that too, again. Yeah, me too. What's the weather like with you? They're hacking into my computer. Oh. Yeah, definitely. Powers that be watching. Anybody doesn't know about comets and planet X system, go and look it up. When did we ever have a white sun exposure? Look at that sun. Can you see that image? What's the weather like where you are, Tony? The perp yesterday, right? And certain individual blocked the drain by the front door.
And certain individual blocked the drain by the front door.
We
And
had
certain individual blocked the drain by the.
so I had a flood in the hallway, and then I put my backspin down in because I tried to clear it. Then the perpetrator number 7 comes around the slope area, and I said, "You wouldn't mind helping me clear the drain out?" Oh, and then there's horrible bugs. So it's like somebody put loads of leaves down the drain so it will get flooded. It turns out there's only plastic cover and somebody undone the screws right outside the soap area by the communal entrance to make sure there's a flood to affect me while I live outside my door in the hallway, flooded out. He dropped the carpet, soaked it up, and put stuff it went round the back. The perpetrator Stuart cut 2, and then he makes, I got it all recorded and audio, and he says, "Oh, we're going to have the inspections round out in August in this area and the flats." I thought he only said that because they were trying to get me out of this flat. I said to the perpetrator number 7, I says, "You see what they repaired to my flat and my bathroom, wet room since 2017. Couldn't believe what he saw because whatever lies this program's being told him, it turns out he knows a lot of people I know. He used to run pubs in the town. It is demonic, the Freemasons, they're all connected." I says, "I've got no issue with Freemasons per se, but when they're poking their nose in my private life and stopping me access services I need and lying about me and set me up, then I will have an issue. So I'll get to find a lot of things out on you already for a long time, especially perpetrator number 7, sorry, correction, number 2, Stuart." So I had a flood. Anyway, I'm watching the Segord sunrise. That bang above my head just now was done deliberately. It's interesting when you know the pole shift in the planet X system. You can see it right in front of you on the webcam. In Australia, is it? What's the temperature like? You've got the birds in your garden. How are they? How's your mum, Tanya? Oh, yeah. I don't know how many hours sleep I got. About I can smell gas. I better not have done any damage above my bloody head in the flat. I can only smell it faintly. They always like to damage things around in this flat and it affects me below. Might be from outside. Yeah, oh, it's beautiful, isn't it? I can perhaps do it to keep them in a job. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. At first I didn't click on yesterday. Because it happened years ago when we had snow around there. It kept flooded, and it was thawed out. And then they did nothing about it. You ring it through to the housing people, get it repaired, and nothing would get done. So I learned how to get warts and stuff to clear out the pipe and the drain myself. I thought it wasn't too dear to get the stuff I needed. I got it anyway, but I could use it in my own sink if I need to. But and I thought, no, I know how to unplug or so block it. Get the old gloves out, get the old brush out. And I thought, stuff you lot, if you perps don't want to bloody help anyone that's disabled in a wheelchair, I'll bloody well try myself. Which I did. And because there's all these horrible bugs trying to get in under the door. And then the perpetrator, number 7, comes round the soap area. He must have been sent round to bloody help me. Because they knew if I got injured, I could sue this, I could sue quite a few corporations. Anyway, I had the call recorded. But I must have had a sleep trying to do the stream. Because I woke up. I never normally fall asleep without bloody going to bed. I fell asleep on the bloody bed itself without bloody properly going to bed, if you know what I mean. Excuse me, it was so funny. I'll tell you, the conversation I had with a perp, it was so funny. I didn't expect it. You gotta turn the tables on them. I mean, you can't feel sorry for them because of what they're doing. But I saw it in their eyes. He worked in these pubs around town where I used to go years ago. And you can't believe everything they tell you. Half truths, It's so funny. Could read them like a book, the body language and everything. And they're supplying the drinks, getting them drunk. They must be on some kind of drugs to keep awake all night and day. Really must be. So, yeah, I'm living around a drugs den. Allegedly, got flat 9 above me. In and out, all bloody time. Flat 7. Oh, I tell you, flat 3. Nothing goes on around here without Stuart. You think he knows everybody, the Freemasons, right? And nothing goes on unless it goes past him first. He's nobody, I tell you. He used to be a lorry driver. I'm connected to you things, to well-known Freemasons and their connections, and pull their strings to make sure I don't get into what I need. He's been behind it all for years, and I got it all confirmed just today. He's got to rot in hell. I pay no bonus to watching the skies. And then after my back's been done, because you've got to turn the tables on it. I mean, I don't know, Tanya. It was weird. I went in the kitchen, do my washing and my toast. I hear this bang, 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 like they were doing something on the floor. It sounds stopped, but it was deliberate. And I thought she works nights. Every night she works nights. She don't get in till 6 o'clock in the morning. There must be somebody else up there got keys to a flat or something. I don't know. That's what it was like. A hammer was used on something really loud. That never happens that time of morning because it would wake me up normally. And she said, "What the hell?" Yeah. So that's when it smelt their ass. So if they damaged something deliberate in their flat to get the repair people back out when it's right above my bloody kitchen area. Can't make all this bloody gaslighting, perpetrate your actions up. Yeah, I do begin to hear me. No clue really, but I got my suspicions. They always damage that. It's like they do something and then they report it to get repaired. I don't know, I don't give a shite. You can't feel sorry for them because of what they're doing. But I saw it in their eyes. He worked in these pubs around town, right? And then they report it to get repaired. They've got the frequencies going, haven't they? Anyway, Tanya. Oh, I've got 2 streams going. I don't even know about that. I've got 2 streams going. I don't even know about that. No, it's not. It's that one. It's alright. I'm trying. Trying to suss out when I fell asleep.
moan about them. Shopping back from school and work. Little tiny little things to moan about.
Kevin, a Christian therapist, wrote to the effect that just about everything we do, and he was a very smart, and then justice is victorious. Near-death experiences of Michael Pollan, his book, How to Change Your Mind, has an extended our mental states. And a materialist would say those are just states of the brain, and all there is a non-materialist might.
I fell asleep with the internet and something playing in the background. No idea what it was.
Say no, the mind is at least partly immaterial. It's a soul, where there are non-physical properties of the brain. So that falls short.
Oh my goodness me, they controlled my sleep. I'm controlled, alright. The frequencies were going.
Supernaturalism in the sense that you might still not believe in an afterlife. It's just differences, but at some level they are similar. There's usually an out-of-body experience. There's a what?
I was playing some spiritual out-of-body type something in the background. It must have made me fall asleep.
Review. There's this guidance by see, the way I look at it, think of other
That was weird, yeah. It is. It's weird. It was really weird. That is bad what we are going through. I know. I don't know. It's never happened like that before. It's never, over a year maybe? When suddenly I just fell asleep on the bed, papers on my bloody bed, and then my head feels like it's gone through a washing machine, and it still feels like that. We're just taking them painkillers. Try and protect it. I never wake up ever till this time in the morning. I must have had about 5 hours sleep, because that's all I need, one of those watches that tells you how much time you've had sleep or something. And it's like, I don't know, it's weird. 1 minute I was on bed, next minute I'm like literally gone, falling straight to sleep. It's weird. It never happens like that. I can only roughly gauge by the audio recording. I don't know. It must have been about 11:30 p.m. UK time last night. And I woke up about 3 a.m. in the morning thinking, what the hell am I? I'm still on the bed. Clothed. And so I text my mate. I said, can you come round and help me out? Because it doesn't happen. And my other mate, she must have saw me, just left me, not wanting to disturb me. And I think she went off where she had to go, and I saw the note she put on my bed. So I texted my other friend to come round and just to get me my breakfast early and a couple of bits, turn the lights off and sort things out, which she's done. So shortly the internet, Wi-Fi will turn off. Not that makes any difference with the frequencies that we're going through. But yeah, talk about satellites. Yesterday I had to get the bits. I was late getting out as well. because of this bloody flood. And it was like, well, my head was pulsating. It's really bad, I tell you. And then the weather, though, CMEs from the sun, projection, other people making videos, and it's hitting Earth, and it's hitting the atmosphere. Something's causing. I'm not a scientist, so I don't know the full ins and outs, but because you get the ring in the ears and all that BS that we go through anyway, this was like a double whammy effect. It's evil, isn't it? Ryan Chew's moved again. Yes, it is. Don't know, this is.
Sort things out.
Just hope you don't poison my milk, because I need my breakfast in a minute. It's weird, the time difference, isn't it? Do you find that? You're all the way over there ahead of UK time. So you've already, Thursdays is evening time of Thursday for you. So by the time, if you get your sleep, it's not great. You're having to put your mattress on the floor. Or at least it's not on a bloody spring mattress. Bloody hell, but still it's not good, is it? She's real tired again. How your beautiful dog? Your lovely little dog. Oh, it's a big dog, isn't it? Yeah. I used to have beautiful cats until they got stolen off me. Harmless. But it's all a part of the NK Ultra program on top. Just got this show in the skies to watching the weather in UK. Crap weather. Okay. Just gotta check how much credit I've got on this phone. I like to do the control of the mind. There's more demonic stuff going on in the world, isn't there, Tanya? I missed everything yesterday, so I was late getting out to where I needed to get to. Do you know, this is so demonic. All these pictures of my son, right? It's like, let's see. When I go back and look at his mobility card, he's got the letter G like Freemason. Don't know why that feed's come up my feed. It's just like the control. Let's get rid of that. Did you get a new phone?
Homeless with a Heart in Northampton in East UK is an amazing gentleman, and we still got other vehicles on there. Right, so this is Experience of Reality in 2019 with a homeless man I just stopped as the second video today. It's about 6:20 in the afternoon.
Oh, no. That was evidence. The neighbour above me, they've only just got in the door. I could hear them coming in. So who the hell was above making all that noise in their flat? Oh. She's just got in from work at 6 o'clock. So who was in her flat making all that noise? She works nights, so she has to sleep in the day.
Look what she's done. Just to sleep in the day. Look what she's done. Just to sleep in the day. Look what she's done.
Oh gosh. It's 6 o'clock in the morning, just gone. Too early for me. Yeah, 6 o'clock, Tanya. Midnight Rifle, travel the course of Wormwood. Planet X system. Let's see what they're saying about what's going on with these bloody sky. I had a feed and I'm going to see if I still got it. This is demonic, isn't it? The poles shift when the mountains move. My body, I'm just absolutely bedridden today. My nerves are just too pot. Let's see if I can find it again in my feed. Earth facing solar eruption. There will be something. Yeah, let me just play this in the background a minute.
Costa Coffee, in pursuit of perfection since 1971.
The solar eruption. Rejuvenise Hotel.
You're here.
I need
Glad
a break.
finally made it. July the 28th, 2021. Guys, you're looking at sun. This is from the SDO. It's giving us Earth-facing images, and you're looking at, in this yellow area, the filament release from yesterday. We've had a second one today, and about 3 small ones, but one major one, and they're all Earth-facing, and it's kind of gave us a halo explosion effect when we look at the other satellites. But first in the air is the one from yesterday that we saw tracking towards Earth. That's supposed to be here tomorrow night around 7 p.m. Eastern. Now, they have not picked up the new one yet. To be honest with you, back during the administration before last, a lot of money got taken down from the different space programs as far as Solar Dynamics Observatory, SOHO, LASCO, all the above. And many of you have also seen a decline in the updated information coming in. But now it is what it is. We've got, at least they haven't turned off all the satellites. That gives us some clue that we can visibly look at and see what's going on. But again, the CME, we've got one scheduled for tomorrow night around 7 p.m. Eastern. That, again, that's plus or minus 7 hours of the window of opportunity. Now, in the top, there's another filament I want you to watch today as I play this forward. You're going to see a secondary filament release. First, there was the one on the bottom left from yesterday. Look at the top center, and you're going to see lightning bolt effects coming from just to the right of that. Watch, you see a couple, and then finally one reaches all the way over right there to the tip of that filament and releases it. Then you see a secondary explosion, guys. When that filament releases, you see the shadow of it. Then you see another explosion that is on the surface of the sun, and it's called a hydro flare. In other words, all of that filament does not get thrown into space. The sun's gravity grabs part of that, picks it up. Now watch under the surface as that thing erupts. When that collapses back to the surface, the part that is gravitationally captured and pulled back in, that hydro flare explodes, and it creates, again, a secondary explosion that all the satellites pick up. In other words, you have the filament release, bam, it comes through. Then, as again, the secondary explosion, the hydro explosion releases, it feels that too. And you can actually see the satellites are rattled just a hair. Now, for some reason, I'm not sure that this camera used to be active, but at least we have active still shots. And if you notice in the bottom left, there's 3 different colors with today's date on them. That's because they're using 3 out of 12 cameras on a satellite called the Solar Dynamics Observatory. And the 3 different filters combined, guys, gives us an excellent view of different things. In the very top of this, there's a blue opening, and that is called a coronal opening or a coronal hole, and that's where you get increased solar wind speed. But in the dark brown, very dark brown areas, those are filaments, and once they connect either on one end or the other, you get that release. Now, this is very telltale here on SOHO, LASCO C2, that this is an Earth-facing event. As a matter of fact, there were about 4 of them today. And you're going to see all of them in a halo effect. Also here on the 28th, it's also SOHO, but a much wider image of LASCO C3. Normally you would call that a full halo effect because it would be from one explosion, but these were 4 back to back. And by the way, that's Mercury pulling in to the right over there. Seems like it got a welcome salvo. Now, Venus is to the left. It's so close to the sun that we cannot see it in this image. By the way, that blue circle is an occulter disk to block the sun, or block the glare.
Wow.
This is a telltale stereo ahead, COR2. And this is behind the Earth in orbit, so it's showing the explosion going exactly towards our planet. Notice today's date at the top. This is July the 28th. Stereo A is here.
No
in the
wonder.
orbit behind Earth, which is here. B is in front of it, but in the red is A. Now, 2 of the satellites, SDO and SOHO, give us Earth-facing perspective, but A is to the left. So when you saw that blast out of stereo A, definitely Earth-facing this way.
Wow.
But that's just, again, I remember back in the peak of solar cycle 24 back several years ago to where stereo A and B were up. You could get all the images, and it was very easy. But notice Mercury, where it's at, you saw that coming towards the sun. But Venus is not far from getting close to being Earth-facing when we talk about that magnetic connectivity. But here's one of the things that's happening if you guys are feeling bad. This is a 3-day chart, and today we started getting a very sharp increase in solar wind speed. From
Solar wind.
20 is the average, up to 525, 541, and this is not from a CME. This is from an opening in the sun that allowed the solar wind to escape the magnetic canopy. But if you look at that 542, 530, and those averages, guys, you are looking at very high solar wind speeds. 542 kms, or kilometers per second, is 1,212,000 miles an hour.
Wow.
You can't even imagine it. The human mind cannot fathom that speed. I don't care what you do. But when it hits our shields that have been weakened since the end of solar cycle 24, then it affects our planet. That's why I'm always concerned about tectonic plate activity, extreme weather conditions.
Yes.
Even though we know all of this weather is not exactly natural, but when you see that, it just reminds you of the magnificent power of our Creator. Imagine wind speeds, solar wind speeds, not just your Earth wind speeds, but solar wind speeds that contain so many protons that are solar energized. They're very powerful. And God created this planet with the shields to protect us from this. But every 11.8 years, the shields get weaker. That matches the sun's binary twin, Jupiter, and you call it Nibiru. And that regulates the cycles of our solar cycles. So as Jupiter gets closer, the solar cycles increase. As it gets further away, they decrease. That's God's perfect balance until it's interfered with. Guys, kind of a hard video to do. I got my mind on other things like one of my favorite bands that we talked about before. And I sit here and think about it much longer. I'm
It's a beautiful,
some kind of blues tribute.
it's beautiful way for the dog. Oh, so nice.
My first job is to let you guys know what's going on. So,
Yeah.
as you saw the solar wind and speed,
Not yet, no money awakened.
For you and me and other people that are affected
I'm
by
sorry
that,
to hear that,
that's
Tanya.
what's going on. And it's going to continue for the next several days because of these multiple explosions. But we're watching it, guys. You watch it again.
No pain.
It has an excellent new recipe.
Hopefully you'll be able
channel.
to help to soon, Tanya.
YouTube,
Hopefully.
check it out. It's a heads up. Be safe.
So,
My name is Faith Wambugu. I use Sendwave to send money to Kenya to support my.
excuse me. Got a strange weather going on over here. The skies. These aren't. This is not the sun up in the sky, nor these. These are the comets' effects. I'm gonna try and get a couple hours sleep. I doubt it now. Now I'm wide awake. Ah. Take some pain relief for my really need is like me. Forget hacking my computer. Go away, powers that be. You wake me bloody up early, right? Where's that? Webcam. I'm indoors at this. Look at that comet skies up on left. People walk their dogs early. that warm enough for bloody people. I bet there's the beach. Because that's so gorgeous. It's demonic, covering all the front buildings. Do you know the cost to go to a hotel? I looked up. It's about £3 or so. A lot. Who can afford it, especially when you're a target individual? I don't really like things like this. Just coastline to see what's portraying. It's the webcam down indoors. Get seasick. Well, I used to live by the coast. Jeez. And it is nice and it's the nice weather. This is the sun protection and water. Like I wish there was a camera showing the sky that you can see what I know. But no, I am not planning today. Just a few bits needed because I said and I needed to go. We got all out of sorts. It wasn't ideal to go. That looks really peaceful, doesn't it? With beautiful sound. I miss the sound that there's an early boat going out. I don't know if it's a fishing. But must be a whole different life being a fisherman if you can catch fish. I used to live very close nearby these villages when I was a kid growing up. So all the reflection is so gorgeous off the water, bouncing off. I bet you could see be a fly in the water. And there's another sort of one. To switch off in a minute. So all the holiday makers packing out everywhere. Oh, but they charge it's too commercial. I switch off on, do some really meditation music in a minute. Off the internet. Now this is over in Hastings, South England. The terminal. This guy. It's really like rusty red because when I first watched it, it's really red. So I want to see what's how done all the rusty coloured. So I'm gonna I'm investing in a mask, really proper mask with ventilation, because I do believe that's what's causing a lot of the atmosphere. And what's above it coming into Earth's atmosphere is causing the iron oxide and that's your lungs. And I might research it on maybe because it's too much obvious to me what's going on with this red effect. I don't know if I'm be able to respond to comments. Wait a minute. So I have to cut off the internet and set my alarm. Because I know they like to make me sleepy when I need to keep awake. And I'm going to get that. Too perfect blue sky. Really? You can't tell what's going on there. Right, and go backwards. And I need to try. Thank you, Tanya. Right, I'll go in the stream now. So, blessings to you, Tanya. Cut off sharing the screen. And hopefully I can get some rest now. Take care for now.